can't believe what's going on in Karada.
Yeah, me neither.
Crap!
A horrific attack had been carried out on Kaba Base, an Alliance military installation in the Republic of Kasad. While emergency vehicles poured in to treat the wounded, the base commander and a team of investigators dug into the wreckage of the attacker. They were hoping to find any clue as to who was behind this attack and why. The invader was unlike anything they had ever seen before. It walked on 4 legs, but could use its retractable wheels, coupled with jet power, to reach enormously high speeds. It was armed with a pair of never-before-seen rapid-fire turret cannons. It even turned out to be remote-controlled, although where it was controlled from was unknown. On top of all of this, the wreckage bore the flag of the new Egyptian Empire. Naturally, the NKE was quick to deny any responsibility for the attack. The commander wasn't sure what to make of all of this. Kaba Base was the closest alliance facility to the border between the NKE and the Nubian kingdoms. It was best positioned to be able to offer the Nubian kingdoms military aid, and as such was a strategic target. But the possibility that this was a false flag attack was also on the commander's mind. After all, the NKE had recently accepted a trade deal with the alliance. Whatever the opinion of the base commander was, the Alliance needed to respond fast if this really was the NKE's doing. For the time being, all upcoming space missions and launches would be put on hold. Meanwhile, all trade to and from the NKE would be frozen at the border. The flagship of the Alliance, the ANS Freedom, would be redeployed from its current mission at the Karada Islands to the border between the Kasad Republic and the NKE. Its presence there would help enforce the embargo and serve as a show of force. The NKE watched with unease as the Alliance fleet approached its border. Feeling forced to respond, it would send 3 of its newest and most powerful warships to safeguard its waters. The Empire did not have the funds needed to build an aircraft carrier. It would instead find another way to deploy aircraft at sea. The Sefu-class cruiser was the Empire's pride and joy. Having learned from the mistakes of the old Egyptian Union, the NKE spared no expense in its construction. Not only was it equipped with a rocket fighter, it also featured the NKE Navy's newest weapon, the Fang. This was an experimental twin-cannon turret, giving the Sefu-class unmatched firepower. The The stage was set as the most powerful warships in the world would meet for the first time. Although the ANS Freedom was the largest warship built in decades, it was still vulnerable if attacked directly. If the NKE chose to fire first, there was a very real possibility of it being destroyed. That made it all the more shocking when the captain of the Freedom decided to advance ahead, with only a single frigate for an escort. The captain's decision was highly controversial among the Allied fleet, but, to him, crucial as a show of trust that he did not believe the NKE committed this attack. However, being this close to the NKE fleet, a single spark is all it would take to ignite the flames of war. While the ANS Freedom and the NKE fleet were in a standoff, a missile appeared from the water and headed for the Freedom. Then, remarkably, an Imperial ship shot it down. Once the immediate panic had subsided, the captain of the Freedom contacted the Imperial fleet and requested to join forces to hunt down this unknown attacker before it could get away. The captain of the Imperial flagship, the Khufu, accepted without hesitation. It was believed the missile had come from some sort of submersible warship. Although neither fleet had any way of detecting a submerged vessel, it was speculated that any craft capable of traveling underwater would need to surface often to refill air tanks for its engines. This would give the Allied and Imperial fleets the chance they needed to find it. Both fleets spread out and launched scouting aircraft to search for the attacker. With some luck, they would be able to find it and destroy it before it could escape. The clock was ticking.
Nothing yet, please. Roger, Kingfisher 115. Set heading to 153. On the hostile. Acknowledge Kingfisher 220. Missile inbound. Keep them in your sights.
vessel that brought the world to the brink of war had finally been taken down. Both fleets would converge at the site, eager to learn who was really behind the attacks, but quickly their investigation would run dry. The crew of the submerged vessel had succeeded in wiping and destroying its data drives. Of its crew, those who did not die in the missile strike directly had long since drowned. With no one to question and no data to look over, the two powers would go over the wreckage with a fine-toothed comb, looking for any and every detail that could be the smoking gun. They did find something. However, it only served to muddy the waters even further than they already were. Several parts of the vessel had clearly been made in the Alliance, yet when records were checked, all of them were registered as scrapped, or even as still in storage. But documentation was sparse. Many of these parts had been made for top-secret projects, so just getting access to what little info there was difficult. To throw a wrench into whatever theories the investigators had come up with, it was also found that the drone that attacked Kaba Base was actually a top-secret design, tested by the UKC, of course, also documented as having been scrapped. However, there was a new piece of evidence. It was found that the drone that had been brought to the shores of the Qasad Republic had been remotely controlled from an Imperial cargo ship, a ship design that just so happened to have a lifeboat, which was missing. Unfortunately, this too would become a dead end, as the lifeboat had been left at an old abandoned seaport. From there was simply no telling where its crew could have gone. In the end, the investigators simply did not have enough evidence to come up with any concrete theories. Without anyone to interrogate or any drives with conclusive data, they simply could not figure out who was really behind the attack. Although the idea of a hostile power with access to Alliance military inventory was previously unthinkable, it had clearly happened. So, from now on, the Alliance would double-check its entire inventory and arsenal frequently to make sure something like this could never be allowed to happen again. While all of this was going on, however, the world had not stood still. In the Ulrich Kingdom's coalition, the people of the Kurata Islands, embroiled in unrest for months, took control of their home and declared independence from the Ulrich Kingdom's coalition.
What are you still doing here? Thanks for watching.